London in the 1700s was the largest city in Europe with a population of 575,000 people, 1 in every 10 people in England. It was a dense, rapidly expanding metropolis rebuilt in brick and stone after the devastating fire of 1666. Shaped by international commerce, coffeehouses fueling revolution, and the constant flow along the Thames, London was becoming the financial heart of a burgeoning empire. Welcome to London in the 1700s. Using cutting-edge AI technology, we've transformed centuries-old paintings and historical records into photorealistic scenes, showing you exactly what existence was like in 18th century London, before the Industrial Revolution changed it forever. Let's journey back in time. This is the city of London, the square mile, and it looks nothing like it did before 1666. After the Great Fire, Parliament passed the Rebuilding Acts of 1667 and 1670. Timber buildings banned, thatched roofs illegal. Everything you see here is constructed of brick or stone. The medieval maze of wooden houses is gone, replaced by a city engineered to never burn again. Christopher Wren, the scientist turned architect, was commissioned to rebuild. His original plan was revolutionary, wide boulevards radiating from plazas like Paris. But London's merchants wanted their property boundaries restored. They wanted to rebuild on the old foundations. So Wren adapted. The street plan remained medieval, but the buildings, Georgian brick, wider thoroughfares, and fire-resistant. Look at St. Paul's Cathedral rising in the distance. It won't be completed until 1711, 36 years of construction, but it's already the symbol of London's rebirth. Wren's masterpiece, a Baroque dome dominating the skyline. Around it, 51 new churches. Wren designed many of them himself, each one an experiment in architecture. Stone towers, elegant spires, classical proportions. They're everywhere you look. But this isn't just about grand buildings. Picture this. It's 7 a.m. The streets are already crowded. Sedan chairs carried by 2 men squeeze past horse-drawn coaches. Street vendors shouting their goods. Hot pies, fresh oysters, milk below, the smell. Don't think too hard about it. Open sewers run alongside the streets. Chamber pots emptied from upper windows. Animal waste from thousands of horses. The stench is medieval, even if the buildings are new. And yet, London is thriving. Trade is exploding. Money is flowing. This is the financial center of an empire that's expanding across the globe. This is London Bridge, and until 1750, it's the only bridge crossing the Thames. But calling it just a bridge doesn't do it justice. London Bridge is a settlement on water. Over 200 buildings, shops, homes, even a chapel dedicated to St. Thomas Becket, all balanced on 19 massive stone arches. The buildings are so densely packed you can barely see the Thames below, 4 or 5 stories high, jutting out over the water on massive timber beams. Walking across, it's like walking through a narrow tunnel. The buildings overhang the roadway from both sides. 10.5 feet of clearance, barely enough for a loaded cart. Dark, claustrophobic, deafening with the sound of carts, hawkers, and the roar of water rushing through the narrow arches below. About 500 people actually live on the bridge, shopkeepers and their families. They have their shops on the ground floor, living quarters above. And this is medieval ingenuity. Buckets on winches to draw water straight from the Thames rushing underneath. The south end of the bridge, that's where they display the heads of traitors stuck on pikes, left to rot as a warning. It's been tradition for centuries, but in 1750, everything changes. Westminster Bridge opens, the first new Thames crossing in over 500 years. London Bridge finally has competition. Soon after, the buildings will be demolished, and by 1831, the medieval bridge itself will be replaced. But for now, in 1700, London Bridge isn't just a crossing. It's a landmark, a neighborhood, a symbol of how London clings to its medieval past, even as it hurtles toward modernity. This is a coffee house, and in London in the 1700s, coffee houses are where the modern world is being invented. By 1700, there are over 2,000 coffee houses in London. Not just places to drink coffee, they're meeting halls, stock exchanges, insurance offices, and revolutionary debating chambers all rolled into one. Think about it. Until coffee arrived in England in the 1650s, most people drank beer all day. The Thames water was filthy, undrinkable. So you drank watered-down ale, small beer. From breakfast to bedtime, you were slightly drunk all the time. Coffee changed everything. For the first time, people were sober, thinking clearly. having intelligent conversations that lasted for hours. And each coffee house has its specialty. Lloyd's Coffee House. That's where ship captains and merchants meet. They're creating the insurance industry right here over coffee. Maritime insurance, cargo insurance, life insurance, all born at Lloyd's. Today, Lloyd's of London is still one of the world's leading insurance markets. Jonathan's Coffee House. That's where stockbrokers meet to trade shares. It will eventually become the London Stock Exchange. Garraways, auctioneering, buying and selling everything from tea to entire estates. And the intellectual coffee houses. Those are where writers, scientists, and philosophers debate the ideas of the Enlightenment. Isaac Newton discusses his theories here. Daniel Defoe writes pamphlets here. The seeds of the Industrial Revolution are being planted over cups of coffee. The government is terrified. In 1675, King Charles II tried to shut down all the coffee houses, calling them places of sedition. The public outcry was so fierce, he backed down within 11 days. Women hate them too. In 1674, wives published the Women's Petition Against Coffee, complaining that their husbands spend all day in coffee houses, deposing princes and settling the bounds of kingdoms instead of doing any actual work. But coffee houses aren't going anywhere. They're too profitable, too useful, too central to how London's economy now functions. This is where capitalism is being turbocharged, and it all smells like roasted coffee beans. While the city rebuilds, London is exploding westward. Westminster, the seat of government, is being transformed into an aristocratic playground. New districts rising from what used to be fields. Mayfair, Marylebone, St. James's. These aren't ordinary neighborhoods. These are grid-planned estates built for Britain's wealthiest families. Cavendish Square, Hanover Square, Portman Square. Elegant Georgian townhouses, 4 or 5 stories high. Brick facades, large windows, classical proportions. The architecture is deliberate. After the Great Fire, London learned its lesson. These homes are built to last, built to impress, built to show the world that Britain is rich, powerful, and civilized. And it's not just the wealthy. Clerkenwell to the north is filling up with tradesmen and laborers. Stepney and Wapping to the east are where the docks are expanding. London is growing in every direction. By mid-century, London's built-up area will have doubled from where it was in 1666. But this expansion comes at a cost. The infrastructure can't keep up. No central sewage system, no organized police force. The streets are chaotic, filthy, and dangerous after dark. Crime is rampant. Pickpockets, highwaymen, armed robbers. Public hangings at Tyburn, where Marble Arch stands today, draw crowds of thousands. It's entertainment, a carnival atmosphere. The condemned are celebrities for a day. But in 1750, the Bow Street Runners will be established. London's first professional police force. It's a start. For now, though, if you're out after dark, you're on your own. This is the River Thames, London's highway. It's lifeblood. It's sewer. Until 1750, there's only one bridge, London Bridge. So if you want to cross the river, you hire a waterman. These are the taxi drivers of the Thames, rowing small boats called wherries, ferrying passengers from one side to the other. In the 1700s, there are over 40,000 watermen working the Thames. It's a licensed profession granted by Henry VII. Back in 1510, exclusive rights to carry passengers, regulated by the Crown. But it's hard, dangerous work. The Thames is tidal here. The water level rises and falls by 20 feet. Strong currents, sudden floods. Every year, watermen drown. In the Thames itself, it's filthy. Open sewers dump straight into the river. Slaughterhouses pour blood and offal into the water. Tanneries dump chemicals. The smell, especially in summer, is unbearable, but it's also beautiful. On cold winter days, when the temperature drops low enough, the Thames freezes solid. The many piers of London Bridge slow the current just enough. Frost fairs spring up on the ice, temporary pubs, food stalls, ice skating, even ox roasting. The most famous frost fair was in 1684, but they happen regularly throughout the 1700s. The Thames is also commerce. The Port of London, downstream from the bridge, is the busiest port in the world. Ships from every corner of the globe, unloading cargo, spices from India, sugar from the Caribbean, tobacco from Virginia, tea from China. London's wealth flows through the Thames, and so does its waste. It won't be until the 1850s, after the Great Stink of 1858, that London finally builds a modern sewage system. For now, the Thames is both treasure and trash. Who lives in London in the 1700s? Everyone. By 1700, London contains nearly 10% of England's entire population, 575,000 people. And they're here because London is opportunity. Most are migrants from the English countryside, from Scotland, Ireland, Wales, from France. Tens of thousands of Huguenot Protestants fleeing persecution. From the Netherlands, from across Europe. An estimated 1 in 6 people in Britain will spend part of their working life in London during the 18th century. They come for jobs, for trade, for a chance to make something of themselves. But London is a death trap. Infant mortality is staggering. For every 1,000 children born in early 18th century London, almost 500 die before they reach age 2. Malnutrition, bad water, disease, filthy living conditions. The Great Plague of 1665 killed a quarter of London's population, 100,000 people. The terror of that epidemic still haunts the city. Plague pits, mass graves are scattered around London, quickly covered over as the city expands. And yet, people keep coming because London offers something the countryside doesn't. Cash wages, opportunity, anonymity, freedom. You can reinvent yourself here, become someone new. But you might not live long enough to enjoy it. London in the 1700s isn't just growing, it's becoming the financial capital of the world. The Bank of England, founded in 1694, is transforming how money works. National debt, government bonds, paper currency, credit markets, all being invented right here. And its funding empire, the British East India Company, headquartered in London, is conquering India. The Royal African Company is shipping enslaved people across the Atlantic. British colonies in North America, the Caribbean, India, and beyond are pouring wealth into London. The stock exchange, the insurance industry, global trade networks. London is the hub, the beating heart of an empire that will soon span a quarter of the globe. Merchants are getting rich, aristocrats are getting richer, and at the docks, warehouses are overflowing with goods from around the world. But this wealth is built on exploitation, slavery, colonialism, the blood and labor of millions. London's mansions, those elegant Georgian townhouses in Mayfair, are often financed by sugar plantations worked by enslaved people in Jamaica. The coffee in those coffee houses, grown by enslaved people in the Caribbean. The 18th century is London's golden age, but it's a gold built on cruelty and conquest. This is London in the 1700s, a city of contradictions, elegant architecture rising above open sewers, Enlightenment philosophy debated in coffee houses, while public hangings draw cheering crowds. Immense wealth built on the backs of enslaved people across the ocean. It's a city reborn from fire, exploding with ambition and racing toward empire. By 1750, Westminster Bridge will finally end London Bridge's 550-year monopoly. By 1800, London's population will hit 1 million, the largest city on Earth. The 19th century will transform it into the Victorian metropolis we recognize, with railways, sewers, and gaslit streets. But here, in the 1700s, London is raw, chaotic, thriving, and dangerous. A city of opportunity and peril. A city where the modern world is being born. This was London in the 1700s. Which city should we visit next? Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you in the past.